Good morning, class. Financial intelligence is today's topic, and if you have been around for a while, you know that this is a topic that has been treated several times. But for the purpose of everyone, those who joined the family not too long ago and those who have been here, I decided today to take financial intelligence from a very practical, hands-on, applicable to today's context. So, when we're growing up, intelligence was a display of knowledge. When we're in school, secondary school, primary school, and even the university, the intelligent person was someone who was able to demonstrate intelligence, demonstrate knowledge, by being able to pour out what the teacher taught in class, what they studied up in textbooks and all of that. And, we used to give them names like Iwe, Igi Iwe, and those kind of things. There were people who demonstrated mental ability to recall, to pour and cram and pass, to cram and pass, or cram and pour, as we used to say then. Then intelligence was being able to display that but we know that life does not respect what you know. So what then is intelligence, and what then is financial intelligence? What is intelligence? Intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. And an intelligent person is a person with the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Now, but many of us stop short at acquiring. We just acquire, become obese with knowledge, and we don't apply. But a person who is truly intelligent is someone who acquires and applies what they learn. So today we are not going to talk plenty or turenchi. We are not going to talk about what you need to know. We are going to put the searchlight and ask ourselves, what are we applying from what we know? And we are going to judge ourselves to say, am I truly intelligent? The things that I know to do, am I doing them? Am I applying them? Okay, so that's what we want to take a look at today. So it's not just about acquiring, it's about applying what you know, and the skills that you have learned about. Are you applying them? And that's why many times you see that in society there are people who do not go to school, or who have not gone to school, who are actually more intelligent than people who went through the four walls of the school. Yesterday I came across someone with a profile, an intimidating profile. The person had about 18 professional qualifications. And in conversing with the person, I didn't feel like I was talking to somebody who had 18 professional qualifications. I'm not talking about the masters and all of that. All of that was there. But this person had acquired so much knowledge. Well, when the rubber meets the road, I didn't see the fact that this person actually life. Okay, if you take a look at the slide I just posted, it's a survey that was carried out in America, where there's a lot of data, and data, like Airtel says, data is life. But it's not that kind of data. Data is being able to collate information so that you can take the right actions. Okay, so this survey was carried out over a 40-year period, and taking survey over a 40-year period is a lot of work. So there was intelligence in being able to carry out that research or the survey. So over the 40-year period, 100 people, they discovered that 54 of them were still dependent financially. We're talking about financial. That's the context this morning, about their financial status. So 54 were dependent, 16 were still working, 24 were dead, 5 were independent, and only 1 was financially free. Now, all of these things, except, of course, the 24% that are dead, there's something you can do about that. All the others had a lot to do with their financial intelligence. Now, the question on top of the slide here says, where are you currently and where are you headed? We know that by God's grace, none of us will fall into the 24% category. But the question this morning is, where are you and where are you headed? So in answering that question, I will know that you have listened to this voice note. So tell us the category that you are currently, or the category that you are headed to by reason of what you are doing, not by reason of what you know. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I want you to follow me on the next 3 slides. The next 3 slides I'm going to be sharing from are very, very important. And applying what we learn from there will make a lot of difference in our financial reality. The first slide here says money versus value. Money versus value. Now, we live in a society where money is exaggerated. The value of money itself is exaggerated. But the first statement I'd like to make this morning is that money in itself is limited. If you listen to my voice note this morning, I would like you to say at the end of the voice note that money is limited. Now, what do I mean by money is limited? Now, if you look at Fortune 500 companies, or we look at the top richest people in the world, even though they say they're the richest people in the world, they still put a value on their financial worth. That means there's no how wealthy or how rich you are that does not have a limit. The limit of the richest people in the world is the value that they have placed on their financial status. Yeah, so that's the first statement this morning. So once you listen to this, I want you to write money in itself is limited. But watch out for the second statement that I'll be making this morning. Okay, I can see a few people already commented money is limited. Now, the second statement is money follows value. I'm sure that's a statement you are probably familiar with, but I want us to take a deeper look at value this morning. Money follows value, and that's why the richest people in the world, their resources are not declining, their resources are growing because they are creating more and more value. So, in being financially intelligent, my focus should not be money. My focus must be value. I must take a look at what I'm doing and ask myself, am I creating value? So money follows value, and value can be created. Value is not limited. Money is limited, but value is not limited. However, as far as value is concerned, creating value requires vision or thinking as well as creativity. Now, if you look at the world as at today, you will realize that there were some job descriptions, some professions that were not existing some years ago that exist now. And by reason of COVID-19, there are jobs that are going to be created. There's value that's going to be created. And whether you like it or not, a lot of businesses are being affected adversely by COVID-19. But a lot of businesses are also going to open by reason of COVID-19. So what does that tell me? That tells me that if my focus is just on doing one thing and I'm not creative in ensuring that when adversity comes, I create value, then I will always be limited. So value can be created, and value is not limited, but it requires thinking or vision, and it requires creativity. So our focus in intelligence is understanding value. And that's why there are people who have read a lot of books, but when the rubber meets the road, they cannot apply, they cannot adapt, they cannot reinvent themselves and adapt and create value in a fast-changing society. So our focus this morning needs to be value. So once you are done listening to this, you can just write, value is not limited. Okay, I can see we're following really fast, and I'm going to move very fast as well, as time is really, really running out. Now, in talking about value creation, there are two sides to it. Yeah, you can personally create value by being perpetually active. That means if I'm not physically there, value cannot be created. Let me give you a very typical example. A very typical example are our artisans. Okay, the plumber, the carpenter. I'm not saying their role is very vital to our daily living. Yeah, but they need to be perpetually active for them to create value. Now that's limited. That's limited value, as it were. But a person who is thinking value creation needs to be able to say, there's very little I can do on my own. why not ensure that I have like a training school of some sort of people who I'm training to become carpenters or whatever, or ensuring that I can recreate myself, I can multiply my efforts in more people, such that there's no being limited just because I do one thing, just because I need to show up. What happens when I fall ill? What happens when I'm not as strong as I used to be? And that's the disadvantage of work that is just dependent on you being perpetually active and perpetually there. You need to be thinking that, what if I'm not able to be physically there? Does that mean that I stop making money? Does that mean that money stops flowing in my direction? If my work requires that I'm always the one that needs to be there, then I need to be thinking creatively. I'm not saying drop the job or drop the work. I'm saying you need to think about creating more value that is not fully dependent on your perpetual activity. Now, okay, so that's value creation on perpetual activity. Then there's value being built into a system. And that's why I will encourage anyone, no matter what you do, to have extra streams of income that are not fully dependent on you. It's called leverage. We talk about leverage here all the time. Okay, I need to think about building a system. I need to think about having other streams of income that are not fully dependent on me. There are professions, there are jobs, there are lines of businesses that have totally stopped making income now. It's not by any fault of theirs. Life just happened. Okay, so if I have 2-3 streams of income, then I don't have to have a total shutdown of my finances. Okay, so in thinking about value creation, I need to evaluate if I'm totally active and that's all where my income comes from. I need to be able to think about other income streams so that I'm not limited in value. So we're going to have a quick test this morning, and that's to check whether we really understand value, as I've explained, or as I've attempted to explain. In Green Mondays, what value do we provide? What value do we provide in Green Mondays? Personally, what value do you provide? As soon as you finished listening to this slide, just answer those 2 questions. In Green Mondays, what value or values do we provide? And personally, what value do you provide? Outside of Green Monday, personally, what value do you provide? Within Green Monday, outside of Green Mondays, as an individual, what value do you provide? I'm going to drop the slides now so that we can do a recap of all that I just finished talking about. Hey, great answers as we really speed it up this morning. We want to take a look at 2 or 3 pointers to intelligence. In science, there's what they call the acid test. There's what you need to check to find out if you are intelligent. And if you are not, what are the things that you need to begin to do to be financially intelligent? One is, it goes without saying that you need to study the trends, the world's trends, and where the world is going, and plug in today. Some of us are in Green Mondays, but we are not in Green Mondays. For example, we know that the world is going herbal, the world is going natural, and we need to check and say, how do I maximize this platform that I have? It's not just selling products. Selling products can never make you financially free if you are just the one selling the products. How do I create a platform for the value that I have to go over and above and beyond my physical location? So you need to study the trends. The trends today in the world today involves technology. Some of us have been against technology. You say, oh, there's training on WhatsApp. Now you really don't have a choice. You say, no, I must go to the office for training. Today you have no choice but to sit with your phone and get value from it. Okay, so you need to study the trends and leverage the trends. The trends involve the world is going organic, the world is going natural or herbal. Technology is the platform by which many things can get done, and you want to ask yourself, how am I perpetuating the value that I have using the world's trends, and so that I can maximize it? so that I can get the best value financially from it. So it is intelligent to study the world's trend, not just sit down and say, oh, how will things be? Because the real test of what's happening in the world today is after COVID-19. Many people are going to be rudely shocked financially after COVID-19. And you want to ensure that you are well positioned, you are strategic, and you create value way beyond yourself so that you can enjoy financial independence, financial freedom, as it's not just about you. Okay, we're still talking about pointers to intelligence. We've spoken about studying the trends. Secondly, it is intelligent to know that your body is limited. So whether you're in your 40s like myself, or you're in your 50s or 60s, you must tell yourself the truth and say that in 10 years' time, there are things that I will not be able to do anymore. Physically, possibly mentally, and all of that. So what does that point me to do as far as intelligence is concerned? It means that I need to have people on my network that are much younger than myself, at least 10 years younger than myself, because the younger people are the future of my business. Okay, so if you listen to this voice note to the end, summarize what I just said in saying that you need to have people who are much younger than you in your network. You must build your team with the future in mind. If all the people on your team are your age mates or people that are older than you, then you are not yet thinking about the future. Okay, thinking about the future is saying that I need to be able to populate my team with people who are also younger than myself, who by the time I'm not that strong anymore, will take the baton to the next level. And in taking the baton to the next level, I'm securing and ensuring that financial freedom becomes my reality. So I must begin with the end in mind. Okay, understanding that I need to have people who will still be energetic and who can still create value in another 10, 15 years. So if you understand this, I want you to summarize what I've just said in this statement after this voice note. Hey, how does being financially intelligent, or how does intelligence impact on my team and on my business? I already mentioned it earlier, but for the purpose of recap, I'll run through it again. Okay, one is that I need to have 2 or 3 other income streams that don't conflict, but rather enhance my Green Mondays business. I'll say that again. I need to have 2 or 3 other income streams that don't conflict, but rather enhance my Green Mondays business. That's intelligence. Okay, to say that, if someone comes to visit me, I will not give the person, or if I try it and I give my visitor a one-legged chair to sit, if the visitor does not beat me up, then I am very lucky. Okay, to say that the ideal is for stability, income streams, so that there's stability and we can begin to build towards freedom. Okay, so I need 2 or 3 other income streams that don't conflict, but rather enhance my Green Mondays business. That is the next action step to say, okay, what do I need to begin to do? Okay, I need, secondly, so that you would not say that MI said you should have only younger people in your team, I'll modify that a little bit, okay, to say that I need to have a rich mix of people in my team. Young people, old school people. I know old school people are not in Green Mondays. I know people in Green Mondays are very, upbeat and all of that. Okay, so people that are young, old school, men, women, professionals, business owners or business people, traders, illiterates. I need to have a rich mix of people in my team, because that way my net is spread for a huge harvest. Okay, once I have a varied team. Okay, so that intelligence needs to inform who I prospect, needs to influence who I get on my team, because people will reach their kind. I need to be able to spread my net and reach different categories of people so that they can reach their people as well, and I can have a rich mix of people on my team. So intelligence is taking those 2 major steps that I just outlined now. Okay, and finally, but most importantly, the purpose of financial intelligence is not to boast to other people that you understand financial intelligence. It's for a purpose called financial freedom, as we checked out in the survey that we carried out earlier. Okay, to say that in a population of 100 people, only one was financially free, because that one set a goal for financial freedom. Financial freedom does not mean that I'm going to be like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or all of that. It's a point in which what I earn passively exceeds my living expenses. And we usually say that there are 5 vehicles to achieve financial freedom, which is the purpose of all of this. It doesn't mean that I'm richer than someone else. It just means that I've structured my finances such that when I'm no longer physically active, what I earn as income can take care of my living expenses. I don't have to be upset and say that my children are not taking care of me, or that the government is not performing. I can live a decent life from income that comes to me passively. There are 5 vehicles that we usually share about. Of course, time is gone. I'll just run through that very quickly. There are 5 vehicles to achieve financial freedom. 1 is real estate. 2 is automated business. It means that I've built a conventional business to a point in which I can retire. I was in a CEO's forum, I think about 2 days ago, where a CEO was talking about the fact that he has retired and he now earns director's bonus. He has retired from his business. Okay, it means that you have put sweat, blood, everything in building a business for 20 years, 25 years, and all of that. And you now retire and earn passively from it. Thirdly is paper investments. These days when the stock market is doing bad numbers, some people who don't have investment in stocks, they'll just say, no, thank God I didn't do shares, But for the long term, especially for stable companies that have been around for a very long time, it's good investment for the future. I know people who are living on dividends from paper investments. So what is important is not what you do, is the mindset with which you do it that determines what you get from it. 4th is intellectual property. It means that you wrote a book. Like this lockdown period, I've seen a few friends who have been saying they write a book since, and some of them have gotten their books out. Okay, so in a system where things work, and you are earning royalty on your book, or you are earning royalty on a song and all of that, that is what is called intellectual property. And these days where you have technology, people actually earn royalty on technology materials as well. Okay, and the 5th and most affordable, and the platform with which we operate in Green Mondays, is called network marketing. Okay, there are actually people who are retired from network marketing and who live off their bonuses and commissions. Okay, these are the 5 vehicles that are available to play in. So I want to ask myself, which ones can I participate in with the long term in mind? Okay, so those are the 5 vehicles. And as we wrap up this morning, I'll just take one last slide, and that will be it. Okay, my last slide here says COVID-19, during and after. The 2 questions I'm asking you this morning is, number 1, what can you see? What can you see currently in the times that we're in? Are you going with the flow of the crowd of people who don't know what the future holds? People who are filled with fear and uncertainty, who have, come in limbo. They have suddenly become inactive because there's COVID-19 all around. In training, we are taught the circle of influence and circle of concern. Where you are now, you have placed yourself in a powerless state. For some of us, have just decided to stop promoting our business because there's lockdown. Okay, the truth is that some people are still doing their business and growing their businesses in spite of COVID-19. Okay, business may be slower, but people are still driving their business. Okay, so I'm asking you today, have you resigned to COVID-19 and given COVID-19 as the excuse why your business is not moving? Or are you telling yourself the truth and saying that I have decided to stop driving my business because there's lockdown, and I assume that people will not want to explore multiple streams of income, or they will not want to buy the products? Okay, so I ask you this morning, what can you see? What can you see today? What can you see post COVID-19? There's something that I've seen prevalent around us, and that is the victim mindset. The people who would always excel, who will always thrive, are people who run away from the victim mindset. They ask themselves, in every adversity, what is the opportunity? And that is intelligence. Intelligence is identifying the opportunities in the adversity. And in Green Mondays, one of the values provided is health, and it's the future. It's a no-brainer. And I need to be able to say, how do I leverage this time and not resign and say, oh, Lagos State is not giving us palliatives. Government is not giving us palliatives. If you check, people who are in that complainant space, they always complain and they never have enough. But if you see people who are upbeat and doing well, who are making progress, there are people who have chosen not to give. They have chosen to give no excuse to their excuse. Okay, no room for their excuses. Okay, so my question to you this morning is, what can you see today? What can you see post COVID-19? And what action are you taking? So my last statement this morning is take action. On the things you have heard, take action. Okay, in doing, the exciting thing about our business is that it gives you an opportunity to care for people while doing your business. Okay, you can care for people and still make a sale. You can care for people and still sign them up into your business, because the business you do gives a platform for people to have a richer, wealthier, and more fulfilled life. Okay, so I ask you this morning, what can you see? Intelligence is seeing the opportunity in the adversity and taking action in that direction. Wow, this has been an amazing class. Very, very, very active and gingered class. I know that you're going to take action in line of what we have learned today, and I look forward to celebrating generations, within your teams, and layers and layers of generations of success, financial freedom, and impact, to different categories of people in society. So that will be all for today. Thank you so much for having me. I just took a little part of financial intelligence this morning. It's such a very, very wide topic. I know that someone has been helped, and will begin to take commensurate actions, and we're going to have massive results. Thank you so much for having me once again. God bless you. Stay safe.